Okay, let's talk about it. Someone said Joseph Ossai. Dre said Joseph Ossai. I think Joseph Ossai showed a lot of promise. I think that Joseph Ossai is going to have a hard time garnering the contract that he might hope he could have gotten had he had a couple more productive years in Cincinnati. Because any type of contract Joseph Ossai would hope to break the bank with would be strictly based on potential. So it would be highly incentive based. It'd be highly incentivized, and you would want to see the sack production. You would want to see all that sort of stuff go up. I could see a Joseph Ossai returning to Cincinnati on a year deal. And I could see Cincinnati being interested in bringing Joseph Ossai back on a year deal. I think that what you saw from Joseph Ossai down the stretch, especially from the interior, might have opened things up for him. That's my thought process. I think Joseph Ossai has more there. How much more? I have no idea. How much more does Joseph Ossai have? I have no idea. I can't answer that. But I think he does have more. I believe in my heart he does have more. I think Joseph Ossai coming back to Cincinnati on a one-year deal makes a lot of sense for both parties. I think it does. I want to keep it going, though. Somebody says Cedric Johnson. Cedric Johnson's a guy that I remember when the Bengals drafted him. Me and Daniel did a deep dive on him, just one-on-one. We didn't put it out anywhere. We just did a deep dive, and we just talked about what his potential could be. He's a guy that has flashed a lot. He showed a lot of juice in the pass department. The one thing that stood out on film for me when I was watching Cedric Johnson's film in college, but also seeing it translate to the NFL, especially in preseason, was his motor. His motor is high. The Bengals need more high motor, high effort, energy guys. That is what they need. That is a absolute fact. They need to make sure that they do everything in their power to get more guys that have the ability to rush the passer, get more hands on the quarterback. And I think that can go a long way. So for me, I think Cedric Johnson is a guy that has flashed. I'd like to see him play a little bit more, and then I'd have a better understanding, a better grasp, I would say, on what his future could potentially be. I'm going to get to some more people. Somebody said Geno Stone. Woo! That's a loaded one. Geno Stone flashed against bad teams. My thing is, when Geno Stone is decisive, he's good. When Geno Stone hesitates, he's bad. He's slow. Although he's athletic, he lacks the athleticism to make the necessary big plays that you would want your chief and commander at the free safety position to make. For me, I think a Malachi Starks or somebody like that has the ability to provide that pressure on a quarterback that, I think that those type of guys make a little bit more sense. I feel like Geno Stone gets himself in trouble when he, finds himself peeking back at the quarterback, or he's a little slow to react. And respectfully, you can outthrow his coverage. You can outthrow his coverage, especially if he's not decisive. What we saw outside of this last few weeks, was a more decisive Geno Stone. I think Geno Stone, I think you can get better, personally. I think you can get better than Geno Stone. I'm still an advocate saying I would love to see Javon Holland here in Cincinnati, but I just think that what you saw from Geno Stone down the last few weeks will probably make the Bengals feel like they got their bang for their buck, and they'll probably feel like, hey, maybe we need to just keep, maybe we should just give him another opportunity to keep this thing going. That's just my thought process. I think that the Bengals are finding out the hard way. It's not hard. It's not easy to replace a Jesse Bates. Somebody said Jermaine Burton. So I think the production, I think the boom you're expecting to see from Jermaine Burton is going to be much more likely in year 2 versus year 1. I definitely think you're seeing a more dialed in player, a player that understands that what it means to be a pro. You see, he's gaining the trust of Darren Simmons, of this coaching staff, which is why he's getting the opportunity to have kick returns. He's flashing the kick return game, but this is all a setup to get him in the right spot so he can start making plays on the football field with Joe Burrow and this offense, because Jermaine Burton has so much potential there. But you got to start somewhere. You know what I mean? I think that when you look at it, we all probably had a lot of high expectations for Jermaine. I certainly did. Obviously, being an Alabama Crimson Tide guy, I really expected Jermaine Burton to really boom this season, when obviously some off the field stuff kind of hindered that. It was a slow build back to get the respect, the trust of this coaching staff and all that stuff back in order. But I think that Jermaine Burton is a guy that is going to make a lot of plays for this team over time, in my honest opinion. So somebody said Mike Gesicki. Mike Gesicki should be back here in Cincinnati on a 1 or 2 year deal. That's what I believe. I don't think Mike Gesicki has any What happens when Mike Gesicki has any hindrance on Eric All because they play different positions? If you ask me, Mike Gesicki is the best receiving tight end. I have to say receiving tight end because everybody says, well, he can't block. You know, Mike Gesicki, in my opinion, is the best receiving tight end Joe Burrow has had. He's the best receiving tight end the Bengals have had since a Tyler Eifert. To me, Mike Gesicki is a guy that makes a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. I'd like to think Joe Burrow would want that guy back. I believe this is the second best or third best receiving yardage career, receiving yardage stats wise in Mike Gesicki's career. And I sort of expected, obviously, you match those two up. You match Joe Burrow up with Mike Gesicki up with Joe Burrow. You expect to see fireworks. And I also think that the threat of Mike Gesicki is something that really helps Jamar Chase, that also helps T. Higgins. But I also think that those guys, the threat of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, also help Mike Gesicki. So, you saw what this offense was able to do with the Mike Gesicki in the fold. Why not bring that guy back? It makes all the sense in the world. I don't want to be super annoying about the whole Mike Gesicki thing. You guys know how I feel about Mike Gesicki. You guys know how I feel. You guys know why I want him back. Somebody said Jordan Battle. Landon Mancini said Jordan Battle. I think Jordan Battle is going to be the engine to this defense moving forward. I like the fact that he is a decisive safety. I didn't like the fact that him and Geno Stone both got split for a post route, or what it might not even have been a post route. I think it was a deep shot. They both got split for, and it was a little bit of miscommunication. I felt like it was Geno Stone's play to make, honestly, being the free safety and being the guy that has the free reign to roam. I would have liked to see, I didn't like to see, that happen, but I think Jordan Battle has been stout in the running game. I think Jordan Battle has been hard-nosed hitting. He's been what this defense has been missing. He sets a tone out there. He's violent. I like that, man. I like that. I think that I think Jordan Battle makes a lot of sense for this team. He's going to be exactly what he was at Alabama, in my honest opinion. He was the heart and soul of the defense, and I think that Jordan Battle is going to be that. I think Jordan Battle, when his contract comes up, when it's time for him to get paid, he's going to get paid, whether it's by Cincinnati or somewhere else. But you cannot understate his value to this defense and why the defense has started to look a little bit better. It's because Jordan Battle's in the fold. Jordan Battle's younger, he's rangier, he's more athletic than a guy like Von Bell, and I think that his potential is definitely there. Somebody said Fig Newton. I like Fig Newton. I like Josh. I think Josh has looked really, really good in spots. It's going to be growing pains. A little tough, right? It's a little tough to see what a guy is going to look like as a rookie versus what he's going to look like down the, in year 2, year 3. I just would say continue to do what he's doing. Don't get into the hype. Don't believe your own hype. You got to keep approaching like a pro each and every single day. And I think that as long as he does that, and as long as he's consistent with that, I think we're going to see a lot of big potential from him. Somebody said Marco Wilson. Marco Wilson is a guy that, I don't know. He's a guy that I feel like a lot of people kind of wrote off. It seemed like the mental hurdle was there for him, and it was very real. But seeing the potential that he has shown with his athleticism, that's something that everyone said about Marco Wilson. He tested like a freak. He was very athletic, tested off the charts. He's a guy that makes a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. I think Marco Wilson could find himself back here in Cincinnati, especially seeing as he's still under contract, I believe, because the Bengals claimed him. So I could see him definitely. I could definitely see him being back here in Cincinnati and definitely providing depth